So tonight we're here to talk about something that I think we're all navigating right now, and that's how to build your music career without burning out or selling out. And I think on the one hand, working in music can be so exciting and creative. It can be impactful and glamorous. But on the other hand, it can be incredibly stressful. It can be competitive and it can be really overwhelming. Oh, here we go. And I think one of the main struggles for artists right now is this notion that,
at all times.
can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I can. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I think one of the challenges for artists right now is this idea that it's all about doing more. So, creating more content, having more releases, being more visible. And that leads to this hustle mentality, right? So, this idea that if we do more, we will be more successful. And that just in turn puts more and more pressure on, which can ultimately lead to this overwhelm and to burnout. So I'm wondering, by show of hands, who here does that resonate with, and who's been asking themselves things like, is this still working for me? Does this still feel like me? And am I building something that I actually want?
Definitely.
Okay, can see some nods. So we're in the right place, and you're not alone. And tonight isn't about doing more. It's just about taking a step back, getting clear on what actually matters to you, and then using that information to make better decisions about how you go forward. So there's going to be an exercise, there's going to be some journal prompts. How does that all sound? Okay. So by way of introduction, my name is Laura, and I've been working in the music industry for 20 years as an artist and producer manager. So I've experienced firsthand a lot of the pressure, the fast pace, and the burnout that can come with this kind of career. I'm now a coach, and my company is called Side B, and I work with creatives and music industry professionals to help them get clear on what they want their careers to look like and then design and build a plan so that they can actually sustain it. We're also joined tonight by my dear friend Kat, who's a phenomenal coach, and she's co-hosting this workshop with me. Oh, Kat, would you like to say hello and introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Laura. So, hey everyone, I am Coach Kat. I'm a certified life coach. A little backstory is born in Chicago. I'm now in NYC in Manhattan. My career's taken me through so many different avenues. So, started out in culinary arts, moved to fitness, customer service, human resources, all with this need to help people. That was always at my core. So, anyway, in culinary school, I had a super massive spine injury. I did end up having surgery. And during that time is when I kind of dove into metaphysics and meditation and understanding the mind body connection. And that really inspired me to start my own practice, which is called Symphonic Mind Body Coaching, and where I help people uncover the mental and emotional stress behind the physical pain and really just help you reconnect with your own capacity to heal. And thanks for having me.
Amazing. Thanks, Kat. Okay. So one thing that I've noticed in my personal experience and also with the people that I work with is that it's not that you're not working hard enough. It tends to be that you're trying to respond to too many things at once. So we get lost thinking about what does the algorithm want, or what are other artists doing? Or maybe you're thinking about what your manager wants or what your audience expects. and what success is supposed to look like. And when we get caught up in these external pressures and all these ideas of the shoulds, then it's really easy to lose sight of what actually matters to you and to lose your own voice in all that noise. So maybe you've been feeling a bit burnt out, but you're still trying to push forward. Maybe you're busy, but unclear with the why. Maybe you're successful on paper, but feeling disconnected to the work, or you just know something's not quite right. Or maybe you're saying yes to things when your gut is saying no. And maybe you're creating from pressure rather than from something real and something that you actually want to create. So then if any of that feels familiar, well, you're not failing. You might just need to reconnect to your internal compass. And what do I mean when I say an internal compass? Well, I'm talking about our values. And values can sound a bit abstract, but actually they're quite simple. And really, they are what matters most to us. And they're the underlying principles that we hold the most important. And whether consciously or subconsciously, they shape how we make decisions. So when we're really clear on what they are and what matters, then they're going to help us to know when to say yes and when to say no. They're going to help us know what we should prioritize. And most importantly, we're going to know what success actually looks like for us. So if we're not clear on these things and if we don't define them, then the industry will certainly do that for you. So I would like to start off with a reflection. So if you could take out your pen and paper, and I'd like you to think about when in your career did you feel most alive? When were you energized by the work? When was it really meaningful? What were you doing in those moments? Maybe who was there with you? And then on the other hand, I'd like you to consider when it felt really draining, maybe when it was forced or you were disconnected, or what was missing in those moments. And then finally, I'd like you to think about what you want it to feel like. Not necessarily what you want it to look like, but how do you want it to feel? So if we can take 5 minutes, maybe give me a nod. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can see you all. Oh, hi, Joe. Does anyone have any questions about that? No? All good. All right. Well, I will give you 5 minutes to ponder those things and then we'll come back together. How's everyone doing? Are we ready to move on? Can you still see the slides?
Yes.
Okay. So now we've reflected on that. Now comes the fun part. So we are going to figure out what our values are by doing this exercise. So I'd like you to start by reading through the list of values here, and initially just see which kind of stand out to you, which you connect with. And then once you've been through all of them, I want you to go back and pick the 10 that stand out as being the most you. And not necessarily the ones you wish you were or you felt you've been in the past, but where you are right now. And I would just say, don't overthink it. Go with your gut. That your values can change year on year. This is just sort of a snapshot of where we are right now. So a couple of minutes and pick out the 10 that feel most like you. Hi, Jay. Yes, Kat. It is a lot of self-reflection tonight. All right, give me a thumbs up or a drop in the chat when you've got your 10. All right. Good. Excellent. All right. So now we've got our 10 values. These are what we're going to call our guiding values. And now from the 10, I want you to go one step further and I want you to pick your 3 non-negotiables. So these become our core values or our foundational values. So again, don't overthink it. This can be really tough. So if you're struggling, just maybe ask yourself, which one would I be okay without? And again, give me a thumbs up when you've got your 3. Jay's fast. No, you know your core values. And Joe, gosh, everyone's very clear. This takes me ages. Sorry if you're good. You got your 3? Okay, fantastic. All right. So now we have our 3 non-negotiable core values. Well, knowing what they are is very useful and very interesting, but the good stuff happens when we apply them to our reality, and that's when we get some clarity. So, first of all, actually, I would love it. Is anyone willing to share one of their values and what it means to them? Or even what came up doing that exercise? Were you surprised by what you picked? Drop it in the chat, come off mute.
Yeah, I'll share.
Thanks, Saif.
One of my values was freedom, actually. Just the freedom just to be myself, the freedom to express myself and just to move however I move.
Lovely. And did that surprise you, or were you aware that that was something that was so important to you?
No, it ain't surprised. I think in ways it kind of showed up in my DNA throughout my life and as through my artistry and everything like that. I don't like feeling like boxed in and caged in. I start like it just drives me nuts.
All right, love it. Thanks, Saif.
Yeah, no
Freedom.
problem. You're welcome.
Oh, and you too, Rebecca. You were very drawn to freedom. Okay, interesting. Joe, would you like to share? No, or your hand is up. Cannot hear you.
It would help if my microphone was turned on.
There you go. In the
Well,
room.
here we go. A big one for me and remains one for me is authenticity. And I think that because I also picked freedom, but
Mm.
it if authenticity feels so important to me now because it feels like, especially now, like we're all encouraged to put up facades about,
Mhm.
like life is going great, or I'm super proud of myself, or look at how great I am. But like um it's harder to share what's uncomfortable for
Mm.
you, and um the tricky stuff that you're learning and you're dealing with without feeling like you're bothering someone. um and but on the flip side of that, it's just like, sharing the things that bring you joy, and just like, lately I'm just leaning more and more into like just how much of a nerd I am, and how fun that can be, and how that can also like draw people to have conversations with me.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, it's very important. And it sounds like where you can see where it's both, right? It's important to you, but also the challenge of sometimes completely being that way, and how much fun you have when you do live into it. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so we shall continue on with our reality check. So, yeah, as I was saying, so now we've got these values. Let's look under the hood and see if you're in alignment with these things that matter so much to you. So, I'd love you just to reflect on where your current career is aligned with these values and where it is not, and to think about what you're tolerating that doesn't feel right, and also where you're saying yes when maybe you actually mean no. And I will give you a couple of minutes to think about those things, maybe write them down.
Hey, Laura, can we give Andrea a moment? She has her hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry, Andrea. I totally missed you. Please. Can't hear you, Andrea. Sorry. Still can't hear you. Sorry. Might need to unmute. Unmute. Did I ask you to unmute?
Hi.
Yeah, there we go.
So, I guess the reality check was, hold on, let me go to the questions because I took a picture of it. Okay, there we go. When did my career feel most alive? I would say when my first record went on radio, I was in the shower and I was listening to XM Sirius, and that was the first time I heard my song on radio. And I would say, when did it feel draining? I would say right now, like, because the industry is so diluted, and as what you were saying before, it like you're trying to think of all these other ways to be present on like content, on the lyrics, on the music, on the melody. Like, there's just so much that goes into making the record. And
Mhm.
I feel like sometimes like that's draining. And um and then what do I want it what do I want it to feel um like I really just make music to change people's lives by changing it like 3 minutes of their day, like to lift them up for 3 minutes of the day. And that's really why like I make music, and to help them out. Because like when I was growing up, if I heard a song, like the first song of the day, like that was going to set the tone of my day. So
Wow.
that's what I would say.
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful, and that's so nice to feel connected to that and to your why.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like I don't want to be famous. I don't care about the money. I just want to help people and change 3 minutes of their day and make that the best 3 minutes of their day or of their week or whatever.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Were you able to look at the values?
I was. So the
Okay.
values, the values, I would say, there we go. I would say collaboration, creativity, um, learning, balance, stability, purpose, love, impact,
Mm,
and fun.
beautiful.
Yeah.
They all definitely reflect. Those are the messages that you gave as well about what means the most to you. So great. Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you.
Is anyone willing to share anything that came up during I'm ahead of myself during the reality check when you've thought about now what means the most to you and you've held that up against your career. Did anyone see where they're out of alignment, or perhaps it made you feel great and you realize you're totally in alignment? What came up? Joe?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of like I'm realizing by asking these questions that like I'm very much in um in transit with a lot of these questions, and I'm really happy to say so. And like just again, like thanks to what I've been able to do because of the Wavies, just like going to the studio and being able to like start the music recording process, but also like in the room, like having a space where I'm with all of my best queer and trans friends, and everybody's just very relaxed and very happy. And seeing a friend of mine who like sitting down, we were thinking about how to plan out the day, and he was just like, yeah, I'm probably not going to have very much to say about the bass player, so that we could just get that done. And I was just like, who do you think you are? I walked out of the room to greet the other singers, and I walked back in, and like my I saw my friend be the producer I thought he would be, and I was just like, "Yep, this is what I saw happening," and I'm glad that it did. And how I'm learning to say no to more things that are taking me away from what my goals are. um and that, like, even though I've had setbacks and I've been sick a couple of times, I'm taking that in stride and being like, okay, I've got to, this is time to rest. This is not time to, like, try to push through. Like, this is just what I've got to do, and I've got to, do right by myself. um and but, like, I also had to have a reality check. It's just like, now that I'm trying to, get the momentum back up with getting the music back on track and getting my fundraiser back on track, it's like, um where am I where have I been resting, and where, like, am I tolerating my own laziness a little too much? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's this question is helping me just sort of be like, acknowledge, it's like, no, yeah, I'm on my way. This feels good.
That's great. That's excellent. It sounds like you can see when you really lean into those core values, just how rewarding it is, the positive forward motion, the momentum,
Yeah.
how, I could, really see your energy change with that. And
Feels
then,
good.
yeah, so thank you, Joe. And I can see Jay said, has me thinking deeply of my choices, how passionate I am about them and what I'm doing. A lot of evaluating, and it's leaving me with a good feeling. Excellent. I'm liking that we're all feeling good. Okay. So I also wanted to give you this practical tool. So now, with all the reflection, next time you have an opportunity or something comes your way, a collaboration, a show, or a PR opportunity, this filter, these questions are something that you can use to ensure that you're leaning into your values, that it's going to be a move that benefits you and takes you closer to what you want, and you're not doing it from these external pressures. So those questions would be, does this move me forward or away from what matters? Which value does it support? What might it cost me? And am I choosing this from clarity or from pressure? I'm actually wondering if anyone has a decision right now that maybe they would like to process with us through this filter. And no pressure if not. Okay, well, maybe we can leave it there, and hopefully it's something you can take with you and apply next time you're questioning whether or not you want to
Hi,
do so.
one.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Doing, Jay.
So, hi.
Hi.
So, so it makes me think of when like, in my city. I perform in my city a lot, and the thing is that it's gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, some shows I'm like, how much value do they have in them? Specifically when it comes to the meaning of it. What's the intention behind it? I've gotten to that point. So that makes me think of how more particular I've gotten when it came to the kind of shows I'm being booked for. Like today, I was asked to do a show, and it's justice for Geraldine and Martin. And I asked the person what it was about, and I'm so glad they knew their history because I pulled up the article while we are talking. There were two black people that ran a bookstore in the east side here in my city. Two black people, a black woman and a black man. And um what was it? It was during the 1960s when the whole riots were happening, during the civil rights movement. and they were falsely accused of committing crimes that they didn't commit, and they're still locked up to this day. Martin passed away, but Geraldine is still with us. So it's this whole fight to give justice to the both of them in any form of way we can. So I'm like, good. Okay, good. So I'm definitely on board with that. So every shape of matter that matters to me after I've been evaluating that. So anything else that comes my way, I want to make sure I understand the logistics behind everything and if it resonates with me well. So I actually just screenshot these questions because I feel like it's going to help me. Because I'm managing myself. I don't have a manager at all. I've been managing myself for a very long time. So I've been looking for guidelines. Now, I do want to say thank you for this because it's actually helping me. Like, does this move me towards or away from what matters? No. um, which value does it support? It supports the community, the Black community that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I support my community. So 100%. What might it cost me? Honestly, I don't think it'll cost me anything to support my people, especially for what it's for. Am I choosing this from clarity or pressure? Clarity.
Yay.
So I'm telling y'all, you are reassuring me with a lot of decisions I'm making with this, and I'm just sitting back and listening. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy, Jay. Yeah, and I can see like the sort of the passion and the excitingness when you think about doing something because it means something to you and it's in alignment with what you want for yourself. And
Absolutely.
it's so easy to get pulled away and distracted with this idea, this offer. Well, maybe I should do it because this person's doing it, and it could be this and it could be that. But again, when we come back to these questions and we really think, is it moving me forward towards things that I desire? It's very powerful. So cool. Thanks so much for sharing. Thanks for doing that with us.
No problem. Thank you for, letting me have the floor. Thank you.
Okay. So as we start to wrap up here, I just want to leave you with a reminder that you don't need to do everything. You don't need to follow in someone else's path. You don't need to earn success by exhausting yourself. A sustainable career isn't about doing more, it's about doing things that matter the most to you. So, a final prompt, I'd like you to think about one thing you can stop, start, or change this week to move more in alignment with your values. It can be something really small, it can be huge if you want. You can drop it in the chat, you can write it in your notepad, you can unmute yourself.
I think this is such a powerful question, Laura. And the answer came right away for me, which is slow down.
Oh, thanks.
Slow.
That's usually what I need to do also.
Mine was remember that baby steps are still steps forward.
Love that, Joe.
But if I can just respond to the slide before this,
Please.
like that's been my favorite part of this process of moving toward my music project. Like because like you and I we're doing coaching, and that's helped me put a lot of things in perspective, and but also like being able to work with other people on my music was such a refreshing change because like I spent so long trying to occupy every seat and walk in every single lane, and I got really good at all of those skills individually, but trying to do them for so long on my own, it was just like my sister like like sort of like made my brain explode when she said, you know, sometimes the cheapest way to pay for things is with money. And I was like, oh, oh, yeah.
I think we should all write that quote down and thank your sister. Yeah, thanks, Joe. And thank you to your sister.
I was going to say for the final prompt, was one thing you could stop, start, or change this week to move more. I would say be more present. Just be present.
Yeah, thank you, Si.
Yeah.
That's always a good one, a good place to start. Okay. Oh, and Rebecca in the chat said, be mindful of my values, writing them on a sticky note and putting them on my mirror will help. Absolutely. I actually do that.
Good.
Yeah, really great. Thanks, Rebecca. So I have a final quote to leave you all with, and this is from Michelle Obama. And she said, I have learned that as long as I hold fast my beliefs and values and follow my own moral compass, then the only expectations I need to live up to are my own. And so concludes this workshop. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing and showing up for yourselves. Thank you to Rebecca and the Wavys for having us. There's a few ways that you can connect with myself and with Kat. These are live links if you want to follow them. And I'm here for any questions if anyone has any. Otherwise, thank you and have a lovely, lovely evening. It was great to see everyone.